designed to assist the ease of investment applications. A local member of parliament weighing in on the hike in garbage and water rates. And the Ministry of Education mourning the loss of one of their own.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the government is officially rolling out an investment unit here on Grand Bahama. This new initiative is projected to bring about greater ease when starting a new business on the island. Now, as we hear in this report, local and foreign investors stand to benefit. There's a new investment unit on Grand Bahama, and they have been charged to assist with applications for investment purposes. Minister for Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, explains.
What we found was that the applications that for investment, particularly for those non-Bahamian foreign investors who wanted to do business, that if they wanted to set up a business in Freeport, that they would have to send all of their applications to Nassau. And it would be processed through the Bahamas Investment Authority in Nassau, and then it would ultimately be decided by the Cabinet or the NEC, National Economic Council.
He contends that applications in Freeport have to compete with those in the rest of the Bahamas, which can cause a delay. This is why he says several persons who possess the ability to process these applications were hired.
Gathering all of the information about the investment, doing some of the due diligence work on the investors, and also preparing some of the papers that need to go before the Cabinet for the approval. And we've been happy that we've been able to create a unit here. And that unit now has begun to go through the process of receiving applications, going through the process with investors, walking them through what the process is, sort of giving them a good white glove treatment.
He says these investment applications that will be processed by this new department are for Bahamians and non-Bahamians. The local employees have traveled to Nassau for training and will continue to work in tandem with that office.
We've been able to bring in companies like GIBC, companies like Dev Digital, and get them through a process where they have, from start to finish in terms of approval, has been a 30-day process. And that's our goal. And we're not going to meet that every single time because there are investments that have larger implications. But for those that don't, we are doing our best to bring it down to that time frame.
Thompson shares how the investment unit will also partner with the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
We need to move to get this process electronic. So one of the things that we're talking to the port about is that whole single window, one-stop shop concept, and we believe that's coming. We believe that the government, in their e-government program that we're pushing, will be able to bring that on stream and will be able to connect electronically with the Port Authority, so that we can even move this process along even quicker. So we believe we have a good relationship with the Port Authority, and we can continue to work with them.
In other news, LRA, Old Bahama Bay Limited, the owners of the marina and other assets at Old Bahama Bay in West End, are continuing the process of transitioning the operation and ownership of their assets. According to a press release as of yesterday, Monday, January 21st, Old Bahama Bay temporarily closed their marina operations in order to make proper arrangements for a future operator. Officials say Old Bahama Bay has previously provided appropriate lease termination notice to its tenants, Island Ventures Resort as well and Club Limited, which has also been affirmed by the Bahamian courts. The release says Island Adventures Resort Club and the condo owners separately manage the rental of their condo units, which will remain open at the West End property during the transition. Old Bahama Bay Limited will be coordinating efforts with the various resorts, food and beverage, marina operators, as well as tour and retail services, as resort investors organize plans for a revitalized resort community. In other news, several major capital works projects are nearing completion on this island. A delegation of government officials was taken on a tour of the completed various sites throughout the island on Friday. A completion deadline was revealed for each project, Natalia Hall reports.
The first stop during the Capital Works tour was at the Smiths Point seawall. The $7 million project that encountered some challenges during the last few years is just about completed. Recently, the roads throughout the community were paved, and railings are now being installed on top of the seawall by Walk Construction. Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquist, and Minister of State for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, say they are pleased to see the beach coming back, and they believe the seawall will bode well for the entire community.
As it will open up not only the existing restaurants and bars that we have along this strip, but it will give additional opportunities for other entrepreneurs, hopefully to take advantage of this wonderful piece of infrastructure here and to make a living for themselves. I anticipate certainly that we will draw enough visitors to this area that we can create full employment in this community, and that is the goal. We want to look at this wall and see how we can further beautify it and create a cultural interest, maybe doing a mural of some sort that will paint the picture of this community.
Businesses are going to be able to benefit from this kind of infrastructure because we have this kind of infrastructure that invites people to come. It will automatically generate economic activity in this community. And so that's what we have been focused on. We've been focused on small business development.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Iram Lewis, says the road will soon be open to the public.
We have some 700 plus linear feet of top railings. We are waiting the arrival of the second batch, and as soon as that batch arrives here, Walk Construction will immediately commence installation. And once that is done, we're going to do all the final testing to ensure stability, to ensure that all the code requirements are met.
The Fishing Hole Road Causeway was the next stop. That project is being constructed by ABC Construction and is set to be completed within the next 2 months.
The height is concerned based on the studies that they did. This is good enough to at least, if we have storm surge or we have spring tide, we'll be able to pass this area. I'm not sure, I'm not convinced that it's going to solve all of our problems, but it will indeed alleviate some of the problems. We are now putting in the berms along the abutment. The fabric, I was made to understand, it's on the island that will prevent washout, and installation should start on those by next week.
From the Fishing Hole Road Causeway, the government officials visited the site where the government complex and courthouse is being constructed in 8 Mile Rock. Lewis says work should be completed before the end of the year.
We're extremely pleased with the quality of work that is being done now. The contractor is doing a very good job. The staff at the Ministry of Works doing exactly what they're supposed to do in terms of inspection, ensuring that there aren't any code infractions. The first thing you may see about this building is that it's large. It's a huge building, but all of the essential services for the government will be housed in this, and it is indeed a large building in the largest community in the entire country.
Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Pakeisha Parker Edgecombe, says she too is pleased with the project.
85% of the labor force is from the community of West Grand Bahama, so we're proud to know that we are giving people jobs as a result of this project, and we want to let our residents know that all of their cries are going to be answered once this is opened, and not having to go all the way into the city area every day for essential services, so we're proud of it.
It's Talia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Well, we have more reaction tonight to the hike in water and garbage fees on Grand Bahama. By way of a press statement, the Grand Bahama Port Authority has disclosed that the increased fees are long overdue and are needed to ensure reliable and efficient services. Well, tonight a local parliamentarian says he fully understands why the hike may be needed. Megan Shepard reports.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority releasing a statement recently on the new 5% rate increase in garbage collection and water consumption fees. The Port Authority notes that the last garbage collection rate increase of 5% was in December 2014, while the water consumption rates remained consistent for a period of 7 years. Officials explain that 86% of water consumers consume less than 5,000 gallons on a monthly basis, with an average bill of around around $20. Therefore, a 5% increase translates to $1. Likewise, residential garbage rates would see an increase by $1.38 monthly. Now, the Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Frederick McAlpine, says that while he does not always agree with the Port Authority, in this situation, he is accepting the increase in favor of quality services.
I'm prepared to accept that 5%, knowing that I know every week when my garbage is going to be collected and my water is clean. Unlike the people in New Providence who complain that they're having difficulty getting their garbage collected. I would rather the port collect my garbage any day than the government of the Bahamas collecting it when it comes to Grand Bahama. And as it pertains to water, the water is clean, it is fresh, it is not rusty, and this isn't something new. We in Grand Bahama have had water for a mighty long time.
Now, our ZNS News team also spoke with the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, and Minister of State for Grand Bahama, Senator, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, on this matter. McAlpine says he heard their responses and agrees to a certain extent.
But when we talk about increase, it is right that the Port Authority should have, or could have, and ought to have consulted the community and the wider community and have given us a heads up. But as a government, we should also lead by example. You cannot ask the port to do what we as a government did not do. Just as we asked them to consult us when it comes to the garbage and the waters, the government of the Bahamas should have consulted us also when they considered raising VAT to 12%.
Now, the Port Authority press release notes that the new rates went into effect on January 1st and that the increase in water consumption rates will appear firstly on February's billing statement. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
ZNS News has learned that the results of the 2019 New Year's JUNKANOO parade may be overturned. Reports reaching our newsroom say following an investigation, a meeting was called last evening and the committee has reportedly declared the Platinum Knights the winners of the New Year's JUNKANOO parade. Unconfirmed reports say the head penalty judge has since been asked to resign because proper procedures were not followed. Now, reports say the Grand Bahama JUNKANOO committee is expected to announce the change of results sometime tomorrow. You may recall that the Superstar Rockers was initially declared the winners of the New Year's JUNKANOO parade, and after the unofficial announcement, the Platinum Knights launched a strong protest after being handed a third-place finish. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after the break.